Buonasera, bentornati per la seconda conferenza stampa col PSG. Qui abbiamo con noi Marquinhos e Nuno Mendes e partiamo con la prima domanda. Buonasera, benvenuti. Ci fa piacere essere qui per la conferenza stampa in vista della Supercoppa con Marquinhos e Nuno Mendes. Buonasera Nuno. Il Tottenham ha iniziato ad allenarsi quando voi non avete ancora terminato la stagione, quindi questo deficit a livello di preparazione come lo affronterete? Buonasera. Sì, sapevamo che sarebbe stata una stagione estremamente lunga per noi e abbiamo fatto del nostro meglio e stiamo facendo il nostro meglio per essere in forma. Domani abbiamo fatto allenamento cardio, bisogna essere in forma per affrontare queste grandi squadre ed è quello che cercheremo appunto di fare domani. Cercheremo di giocare il calcio che sappiamo giocare. È stata presa una decisione dal vostro allenatore che ha lasciato Donnarumma a Parigi, quindi un commento su questa decisione, il fatto che lui era lì eh, per la tripletta, per il triplete e adesso non c'è. Il nostro lavoro è di allenarci, dobbiamo fare tutto ciò che è in nostro potere per far parte della squadra, ma sta all'allenatore poi prendere le decisioni. Io e il resto della squadra siamo pronti in forma per domani. Si è parlato molto con i vari del pallone d'oro, i vari candidati che ci sono anche nel PSG. Questo può creare problemi nello spogliatoio? No, assolutamente no. Siamo tutti concentrati sulla partita. A livello personale io ho tutto ben chiaro in testa, sono concentrato così come i miei compagni. È importante vincere la partita e vincere la Supercoppa. Filippo RTL, abbiamo parlato del fatto che la stagione è stata particolarmente fitta, intensa, quindi è stato difficile mentalmente e fisicamente riprendere dopo una pausa così breve, focalizzandosi su una partita che è già di per sé una finale. Beh, un po' entrambe le cose, fisicamente e mentalmente bisogna prepararsi, magari non siamo così freschi come vorremmo essere. Però sì, siamo rientrati a breve da poco dalle vacanze, però ripeto, siamo molto concentrati sulla partita, è la prima partita della stagione, ma questo è il nostro lavoro quotidiano, facciamo del nostro meglio per fare del nostro meglio. Sono alcuni nuovi giocatori, tre mi sembra. Cosa puoi dirci di questi primi giorni anche con i nuovi compagni? Beh, non abbiamo passato molto tempo con loro, però hanno iniziato bene, mi sembra che siano contenti, sono sempre sorridenti e quindi credo che abbiano la giusta mentalità e si stanno davvero impegnando a fondo e ci aiuteranno, ci daranno una mano importante.
Move on to Marquinhos, please. Away you go. Hi, Marquinhos. This is a beginning of a season for you, and we know that your objective last season was the Champions League. So, how are you feeling? How are you starting the season? And as a leader, what are you going to do to ensure that this appetite is still there? Good evening, everyone. I'll probably speak in French if that's okay. I think that it's really a great pleasure to start a season like this. We obviously won the last Champions League and we're coming up against the winners of the Europa. This is the first game that we're playing, and the first game that we play happens to be the Super Cup final. This is the first time as me as a PSG player that I'm actually experiencing this, and I hope that this will be the first of many in the future. We are competitors. And when you're a competitor, there is no end goal. It's about always pushing that bar further. It's about racking up the victories. It's about winning and then getting back to the grind and working even harder. And that's what we do um, as a group, as a club. So even if we've won the Champions League, that doesn't mean that that's just a box tick. The box ticks. There are always other things that we want to get our hands on. Winning once is great, but winning again and again, that's exceptional. And I think there are very few teams that have been able to pull that off. That will be our objective for this year. We want to keep PSG at the level that it's at. We're going to fight for different titles and different trophies. Very pleasant. It's great. I've been through tough seasons, and it's hard to get your head back up after a season that didn't go the way you wanted it. However, coming back to work after the spell of great games that we had and after the Champions League, that's something that is a real source of motivation for me as a captain, for me as a player, for me as one of the veterans of the team. As I mentioned, I'm trying to motivate the others as best as I can until we win. And when we did win, it was an incredible moment for me, but it just whet my appetite because afterwards I was trying to think about what the next goal was. And I want to mark history and I want my name to go down in the history of PSG. That's what we're going to try to do tomorrow. And we have a perfect opportunity to do so. If we look back at the last season, we had a lot of highs, but we also had lows. If we think about the last final that slipped out of our grasp, we know what it feels like to win, and we also know what it feels like to lose. I think that that appetite to win, to beat other teams, and to really run on that high after games is what we're looking for. That's what we'll be looking for tomorrow. And to answer your question about the Ballon d'Or, no, for us, what's important is the team. I am now at a certain age. I'm 31 years old. I know that I hadn't won a Champions League before 30 years. And so, if you were to ask me, would I prefer to be a candidate or nominated for the Ballon d'Or or win the Champions League? I would clearly say win the Champions League. Thank you for what you said about me. The individual prizes aren't what I'm looking for, it's the collective and the team that counts. Hi, Maki. So, as the captain, how do you make the arrival of a player such as Lucas Chevalier easier? What were the pieces of advice that you gave him, and how do you feel that he's settling in? The captain always has an important role when you've got a new recruit. Uh, we've had I've had very important captains who took me under their wing when I came to a club. I think that the captain is uh, the one that's meant to go to the new recruit to talk about, to offer a shoulder if needs be, to say, I'm here if you have any doubts. I want to ensure that you can integrate in the best way possible. I want the new player to feel like they're at home, to feel that they're welcome with open arms. We do have that philosophy. We have our games philosophy. We have a very demanding coach. We know that it isn't always easy for the new guys coming in because they see all of this and they're having to do things that they're not used to doing, that the coach is asking them to do. things that are done differently from where you've come to before, and that's where the colleagues, the teammates, the veterans, the captain play an important role. So we want to do everything that we can to ensure that the new recruits are comfortable, that they've got everything they need, that we understand what they want, what they don't want. Talk about PSG, the club, the group, the team. That's what's important. That's what we focus on, and that's how we're going to win. That's how we have won, and that's how we're going to continue. So the idea is to really get them to embody that philosophy so that we can all move forward together as best possible. Hi, Marquinhos. I am from L'Equipe. Let me come back to Donnarumma. You are the captain of this team. I'm not asking you to talk about the decision that's been taken by Luis Enrique, but as a captain, you've had an incredible season with him. So how does it feel for you that he's not here? He's a friend, and he's a friend who's not playing on home turf. Yeah, it's always difficult. I said this in the interviews I gave earlier. I've been here for 12 or 13 years, and I've seen other players go through what he's gone through. So they found themselves in important players, players who are pillars, cornerstones, and at the end of the mercato, at the end of the transfer window, they're having to pack their bags and choose another club. But unfortunately, that's part and parcel of football. Football is exactly like that. What the only thing that we can do as players, the only thing that we can give, and the only thing that we can say is to give everything we can to the players up until the last second that they're part of the club. That's what we ask our players, ask of our players. I know that one day I'll have to leave as well. I hope to be sent back in the best conditions possible. The players come and go, but the supporters, the fans, the history would always be here. And Gigio Donnarumma, he's part of PSG's history, and he always will be. We're so proud of everything he's done. We thank him from the bottom of our hearts. We don't know whether he's going to leave yet, or is he staying? Is he going? And if he's staying, then we welcome him with open arms, because he's what he pulled off last year was incredible, and it's thanks to him that we got to the final, that we are champions of Europe. So we owe him a lot. And if he goes, then once again, huge thanks. He's a beautiful person. He's a great leader. He's a great friend. He was so important in the dressing room for all of these years that he's been with us. But that's the name of the game. It's football. I can cite a lot of players who left, and I was upset about it, but and I know that if he were to leave, that would also be a blow to me. But I know that there'll be others who will go, and there'll be others that will come in, and we will continue going. We will troop on. What's important is just to give it on max to the club. We've got one last question for Marquinhos, please. In Spanish, please. Good evening. I'm from Popular Sports. So, on a personal note and emotionally, how are you feeling at the moment, at this point of your career, and what is the mentality, what is the state of mind in the dressing room at the moment? I'll be answering in French if that's okay. I am very proud. I'm very proud. I'm so happy to be a part of this adventure, to have the opportunity to win another trophy, a trophy that will be very difficult because we've got two teams that are not at the same point. Obviously, we've been working. We worked at the end of our holidays, but Tottenham, they're probably fitness-wise in a better standing than we are. We, but we haven't let standards slide. I saw the quality of passes, the quality of finishing, the quality of play during the training session. We're not perhaps at the top of our fitness levels or our physicality, but and we know that Tottenham's going to give everything. If I can give 50 minutes, 80 minutes, 90 minutes, we'll see what happens tomorrow. But we're going to try and maintain that level on the level that we need so that we can try and get a result in the bag. This is my 13th season. We won the Champions League final. That for me was wonderful, but I'm still hungry. I still want more. I still want to help the new recruits, the new players, the younger players, even those who have won the Champions League, and they won the Champions League very young. I want to push them to to go further. We also have a very demanding coach. It's not because we've won once and that's done and dusted and we can wipe our hands of it. He's going to push us to also achieve more, and that's how we're going to motivate ourselves, motivate our teammates to win the game tomorrow. Thank you very much.
In a few seconds.
Vos questions, s'il vous plaît, pour Luis Enrique.
Oui, bonjour Louis, Vincent Duluc à l'équipe. De quoi le PSG est capable avec une semaine d'entraînement?
Qui a parlé? Bonjour à tous. Qui?
Ici, et je recommence. De quoi le PSG est capable avec une semaine d'entraînement?
Et pour être honnête, je ne sais pas. Parce que c'est très différent de ce que nous faisons comme d'habitude, mais c'est le calendrier qui nous permet une autre chose. On a, pour rester moins de 3 semaines, et bueno, on a commencé les entraînements avec la joie de se préparer et de préparer ce match de la meilleure manière. Mais je ne sais pas quel est le niveau qu'on va alcanzar, pouvoir proposer.
Bonjour Luis Enrique, RMC Sport. Donnarumma n'est pas là, Lucas Chevalier est arrivé, vous êtes le patron du sportif, vous êtes donc à la base de cette décision. Est-ce que vous pouvez nous l'expliquer, cette décision de changement de gardien?
Lucas Chevalier et Renato aussi. Bueno, ce sont toujours décisions difficiles à prendre, je le sais. Et je seulement peux parler très bien de Gigi Donnarumma. Il est l'un des meilleurs joueurs à son poste, sans aucun doute. Et il est encore mieux comme personne, mais on cherche un profil de gardien différent. Et je répète, c'est toujours difficile de décider ce genre de situations.
Bonjour Louis, Philippe Sansfourche pour RTL. C'est une nouvelle saison qui démarre, même si l'autre est encore très proche. Il y a eu énormément d'émotions. Vous l'avez vécu, la ville de Paris, même toute la France. Ça faisait des années qu'on attendait cette victoire en Ligue des Champions. Derrière, forcément, repartir en reconquête. On dit que c'est toujours beaucoup plus difficile de rester au sommet que de l'atteindre. Est-ce que c'est votre challenge numéro 1 cette saison? Et comment vous comptez, quel levier vous comptez activer?
Quel qu'on a fait la dernière saison, ça a été un objectif pour tous les supporters parisiens et pour le club et pour tous les joueurs qui ont joué au club. Et en ce moment, nous voulons continuer à marquer l'histoire. Marquer l'histoire en ce moment, c'est gagner des Champions League consécutifs, et c'est notre objectif. L'année dernière, je pense que personne avait la capacité de penser que nous sommes capables de gagner cette Champions League. Et en ce moment, on a montré à tout le monde qu'on est capable. Et c'est un rêve et on chercherait de gagner cette deuxième consécutive. Ce sera très difficile. Nous le savions avant, mais on est content d'avoir cette rêve.
Hi, Mr. George Sessions, Press Association. What do you think of this Tottenham team, and is it true you were ever close to becoming Tottenham head coach in 2023?
Well, I have to say that it's difficult because they changed recently the manager, new manager, some of new players. They played a few friendly match before the tomorrow's match, and I don't know what kind of game they are going to plan, but it's going to be difficult because they have been training for the last month, and we are in our first week, but it's not an excuse. We are going to try to compete on our best, and well, there were some options for me in the last 6 months before I came to Paris, and Tottenham was one of them.
Hola Luis, Clara, TNT Sports.
¿Cómo estás, Clara?
Estoy bien, gracias.
Bueno.
Muy bien, quería te preguntar un poco sobre las indicaciones de 9 jugadores para el Balón d'Or, porque, claro, es una consecuencia de un equipo colectivo que es tu intención. Bueno, ¿cuánto es importante las indicaciones, las muchas indicaciones para eso, y si tiene un favorito?
Bueno, yo creo que ya me pronuncié sobre todo lo que significa este premio, que es evidentemente importante para la gente que rodea el mundo del fútbol, pero para nosotros como equipo, nuestro único objetivo fue demostrar el año pasado que las estrellas estaban al servicio del equipo. Eso creo que es clave, es creo muy bonito para todos los aficionados, para los jugadores del Paris Saint-Germain, saber que hay 9 jugadores dentro de esa lista de 30, y yo creo que debería haber más, porque se lo merecen. Pero a partir de ahí nosotros estamos centrados en lo que es los objetivos del equipo, no los objetivos individuales. Este es un deporte de equipo. Eso significa que nuestro club, nuestros jugadores, nuestros aficionados desean que el equipo conquiste trofeos a nivel global, a nivel general, como equipo, y como consecuencia de eso aparecerán los premios individuales, que no son nuestro objetivo en ningún caso.
Lewis, John Murray from the BBC. I don't know if you heard during the course of the summer, Scotty Scheffler, the world's best golfer, was talking about how the great moments of success that he's had have been so fleeting that he's not really able to enjoy it because you go quickly on to the next challenge.
Yeah.
Is that, can you understand that? Is it like that for you too, or have you been able to enjoy what you've achieved so far?
I think it's normal, and it happens more often than before, because too much pressure in terms of competing different competitions. But well, I have to say that I'm very happy to be here again and start a new season. And this is a challenge season for us, for all the players and for the team, also because we have the possibility to making history again in Paris, and that means to win important trophies. But I can understand that words. I didn't hear that. By the way, I just was walking to that press conference, and I saw 4 of my players playing in the pasillo. How does it call, the pasillo, the corredor? In the channel, 4 players playing, still playing. We enjoy a lot playing football. It's like, it's not a job, it's not a business, it's the way we live football, and I'm very happy for having those kind of players, and we try to enjoy at maximum. Of course, the pressure is around us, but I think we can manage that.
Mister, può fare una domanda in italiano?
Per favore, sono molto contento di sentire l'italiano.
Io sono macedone, Zoran Miševski, media macedone, però parlo italiano. Se avete preparato i rigori e se c'è un nuovo Donnarumma tra i nuovi portieri della Paris Saint-Germain. Grazie.
No hemos preparado los penaltis. Sí. Hemos entrenado 5 días. 5, ¿no? 6. No hemos entrenado los penaltis. Pero, repito, es normal, y teniendo en cuenta el nivel de Gigio Donnarumma y todo lo que ha dado al club y todo lo que ha aportado. Es normal, entendemos esta situación, pero mi objetivo, como siempre, es el de mejorar el equipo y trato de hacerlo de la mejor de las maneras, y en ese sentido creo que he sido bastante claro con la pregunta anterior y te respondo, no hemos preparado los penaltis.
Sí. Hola, mister Fabio Licari, Gazzetta dello Sport Italia. Una pregunta siempre sobre Donnarumma. Cuando usted habla de perfil diferente, ¿entiende que es más importante para un portero jugar que parar o es otro que yo no sé? Muchísimas gracias.
Entiendo que he contestado perfectamente a la pregunta y ya no hay que darle más vueltas, aunque a vosotros os gustaría que le diera. No hay más vueltas, no hay más preguntas. Es mi decisión, es la decisión del club que me respalda y a partir de ahí intentamos buscar la mejor solución para todas las partes.
Bonsoir coach, Arthur Perrault, RMC, tout au fond. Vous nous l'avez souvent répété à nous journalistes, vous l'avez dit à vos joueurs au moment de la reprise, vous serez meilleur cette saison comparé à la saison dernière. Alors comment vous pouvez être encore meilleur après la saison incroyable que l'on a connue? Et est-ce que pour vous il est encore impératif de trouver des doublures à certains postes pour aussi ajouter de l'énergie à cet effectif-là? Merci.
Ce que je pense que on a la mentalité de penser à être meilleur, améliorer l'équipe. Ce sera difficile parce qu'on a gagné presque tout, mais c'est ça la mentalité que nous avons et c'est ça la mentalité qu'on veut pour préparer cette saison. Et ce sera très spécial cette saison parce qu'on a la possibilité de marquer l'histoire de manière plus contundente o plus dure e c'est une vraie motivation pour nous.
Buonasera mister, anche io faccio un'altra domanda in italiano. L'avversario ha intenzione di vincere la partita con l'unità. Ecco, nel vostro caso la stanchezza che l'ultima partita avete perso, quando siete pronti anche voi dimostrare l'unità per vincere, soprattutto quell'equilibrio vincente che avete avuto tutto l'anno? Grazie.
Creo que lo que nos ha caracterizado a lo largo de toda la temporada ha sido esa unión, esa unidad. Hemos pasado a lo largo de la temporada pasada momentos delicados en todas las competiciones, pero lo que nos ha caracterizado, lo que nos ha identificado con respecto a los demás es un gran nivel de jugadores, muchas estrellas, pero todas al servicio del equipo, y eso significa que es algo que no debemos olvidar. Mañana vamos a intentar dar nuestra mejor versión. Es evidente que las condiciones condicionan el partido, es evidente, pero no sirve de excusa. Vamos a intentar llevar el partido a donde creo que nosotros podemos ser mejores y vamos a ver mañana si somos capaces. Merci.
Thank you very much.